What's the fastest you've seen a crowd go from excited to horrified? An animal show at Busch Gardens. The camels started Camels don't they make love. They hump. In Sahara they dry hump. Also at Busch Gardens years ago. Elephant took a gigantic, loud shit. I mean a monumental bra-up. Goats ran over at warp speed and began feasting on it. The crowd was so appalled, it was wonderful. So much better than watching the goats form a pyramid. I'm giggling thinking about the poor, young girl MC attempting not to retch as the goat handlers tried to interrupt their shit party. Edit, I've been given the goat award. My life is full. But, apparently not as full as the goats. I felt a mix of amusement and disgust when I and a few other visitors chanced upon a gorilla lazily fingering its bunghole and then licking it. The entire assembled students from the elementary school where teacher astronaut Krista McAuliffe taught at, who were broadcast live to the world, as they watched the Space Shuttle Challenge explode seconds after takeoff, killing all hands on board, including their teacher. Oh yeah, we had an all-school assembly to watch it, on a tiny TV up on the auditorium stage of course. I was in 3rd grade, we barely understood what was going on. The most unnerving thing was watching our teachers weeping quietly and trying to look strong for us. I was also in 3rd grade but on West Coast, so I woke up to my mom crying in front of the TV. The science teacher took us out to watch it from the playground. We were only 50 miles away and could see it clearly. Then the thing blew up. I hate to tell you, but the explosion didn't kill them. They fell for several minutes and it was when the cabin of the shuttle impacted Earth that they were killed. The climax of the last Twilight movie is a fight scene that goes on for 10 minutes. Vampires are ripping each other's heads off, giant wolves are throwing them around like chew toys, and one by one each of Bella's friends and family die around her. You can actually hear people in the audience react as each named character dies. And none of this happened in the book, which was criticized for its lack of climax. As each minute goes on, it feels like they improved the film's story to give it a real sense of danger and excitement and payoff to the series. So shit's intense. And right as they kill the big bad evil guy, the camera fades to black, pulls out, and reveals that all of it was a vision. The last 10 minutes didn't happen, it was someone seeing a future that might happen. No one died. Just a bunch of vampires and wolves standing around staring at each other in silence. Then they all walk away, alive and well. The crowd groans. A girl up front shouts, "Are you shitting me?" Everyone sits back in their seat. No one cares about what's happening on screen anymore. Some people are laughing because someone hit the undo button on the most exciting 10 minutes of the movie. Never have I seen a theater turn on a film so quickly and so hard. I was at one of the midnight premieres for this one, and saw the same thing. Several different people yelled what the fuck showed it was all just a vision, and you could feel the disappointment in the crowd. Bit of a long shot here, but any chance 2020 is just one of these visions? If it was, I'm not sure if I'd be celebrating or pissed off. Pink Floyd often would have giant floating pigs released during the concert, you know, inflatable balloons. This would happen like halfway through the show. Well, people are smoking tons of pot, drinking, doing God knows what other drugs, so by the time the pig is released it's basically like God descending from the heavens. People were losing their shit at the pig. Well, it got caught in one of the wires and caught on fire. You've never seen so many stoners fall to their knees in terror, fear, sorrow over the death of a giant inflatable pig. There is no God anymore, his bacon got fried. I think this is the only one in this thread where I wish I was in that crowd. Yeah, and end up like Viserys with plastic. A piggy crown for a piggy king. There was a guy performing risky stunt dives in a river for money. He pulled off great stuff and people were clapping and clearly hyped. One of the tricks went really bad and he crashed headfirst into a rock from a decent height and killed himself. I always remember what Panjulit said at the end of his nail gun routine. It was like, we find it morally wrong to put someone in real danger for entertainment. And I have to agree. They think it's immoral to make the audience complicit in danger. Basically, you're paying to see a magic show, not a medical emergency, so there shouldn't realistically be that possibility on the docket. Yes. And they managed to make it look dangerous in many of their acts. No need for real danger. A friend of mine decided it would be fun to try and see if he could smash a beer glass on his head. Up until then he was just being an enthusiastic drunk and had some positive attention. He then decided the beer glass thing was a good idea and promptly executed it. Head wounds bleed a lot in the first minute. Crowd went from "oh, you're cute" to "fuck, he's gonna die." I sobered up in an instant and got a semi-clean towel for him to stop the bleeding. Thankfully head wounds also stop bleeding pretty quick in most instances. Drunk ideas are almost never good ideas, especially the morning after when you wake up next to a bad idea. WWE's Over the Edge 1999. Owen Hart fell 70 feet to his death during the event, and the company inexplicably continued on with the show after he'd been taken to hospital. That's kind of fucked. Oh, he forgot to mention that during the countdown to return to the televised show, someone just nonchalantly tells Jim Ross, that didn't know that Owen had died, that he now has to announce the death of Owen Hart to the viewers. How is this not higher up? 16,000 plus people in attendance and hundreds of thousands watching the pay-per-view live at home. Crazy stuff. Have you seen the Dark Side of the Ring on that night? Unbelievable. 7-8 years ago during a concert there was an earthquake. Not too huge, but enough for some speakers to fall and to scare the shit out of those attending. At a music festival, Blues Fest, in my city, Ottawa, we had a stage collapse in a windstorm a few years back. Edit, it was actually 9 years ago. The band playing at the time was Cheap Trick, and they sued the festival and the stage company. Edited, some details. An American comedian in the Republic of Ireland saying how happy he was to be in the United Kingdom. Similarly, a Canadian band hollering "We Love England" at the beginning of their set in Glasgow. I was at some weird zoo animal preserve north of Phoenix in 2012, and there was a tigress in chain-linked compound. This little girl went up to her and blew her a kiss. The tigress looked at her and licked her own, not the little girl's, whiskers, and the crowd went "oh." The tigress shifted a little bit and pissed all over the little girl. The crowd was shocked and horrified, but I laughed my ass off. While I was reading this I was so scared it was gonna say she was mauled by the tiger. I had the opposite happen at my local zoo last summer. It's a small zoo and they really are more about education and conservation than anything else. The animals have large enclosures and lots of places to hide, so sometimes you just can't see them. The female tiger was sunning herself on some rocks, but the male tiger was right at the fence pacing back and forth and seemed to be snarling. A group gathered. It really is a small zoo, so maybe 15 to 20 people, and we were all expressing concern for the tiger. Eventually a zookeeper noticed the group and came over. She actually laughed when she realized what we were concerned about. Apparently the tiger just does that sometimes. It was trying to impress the crowd and seem like a badass. In reality, the female was the boss, so the male was trying to appear tough while the female was busy. The zookeeper jumped the little barrier to prevent people getting close to the fence. She put her hand to the fence and baby talked a little, and the tiger immediately turned into a little kitten rubbing the fence, rolling onto his belly hoping for pets, chittering happily. It was very cute. I had the opposite happen at my local zoo last summer. I was expecting story about a little girl peeing on a tigress. I was at a Van Halen concert a few years back and David Lee Roth comes on the mic and says this next one is from our new album Ha. I was at a Rolling Stones concert about 15 years ago. As soon as Mick said that Keith was going to do a song everybody suddenly had to go to the bathroom. That's too bad. Happy you got the Silver and Salt of the Earth are solid songs. We were all 17-18 on a school trip. Typical week away doing rock climbing, archery, camping etc. At the end of the trip we're gathered in a big hall for one final gathering and then out of the blue there was a demonstration on how to effectively kill a chicken, using a live chicken that was killed in front of us all for some reason. No warning. So it was a fun week at the KFC training camp, which ended in a game of chicken. Your school took you rock climbing and camping for a week. Where you from? Somewhere wealthier than I'm from, that's for sure. At my friend's wedding the groom kicked the flower boy. He was no more than 10, so yeah. On purpose? Yes, it was terrible. I didn't exactly see it happen though. Just heard a collective gasp from the crowd and the boy on the ground. There was a moment silence and all hell broke loose. Didn't even get to finish me damn play